Hi, my name is Ivani Valdivia, and I'm going to be discussing my pillar paper, which is dissecting the administration in the COVID-19 pandemic. The pillars I am focusing on is going to be fairness, equity, and efficiency and effectiveness. I want to make sure that I establish how fair the programs that were implemented by the government were for everybody in the United States, as well as how efficient. When I say efficient, I mean how helpful it was for people if these people did make not the people, but if these programs did make an impact for people and helped people out during these very hard times. A little bit of background as to why I chose this topic. It hits close to home. I'm sure everybody has been affected by coronavirus, but for me especially, I lost my job and my husband is an essential worker. Therefore, he has not been able to take a break since March. So it has definitely hit home, and I feel like I can see both point of views from both sides. As for President Trump and his effectiveness and what he did during these times, since he did establish state of emergency, he is allowed to make certain packages such as the CARE Act in times that there is a great need for leadership. So basically, President Trump, his leadership was to kind of control and decide what is needed for the people. That is why he established a stimulus packet in order to help everybody. So with the stimulus packet, people were given a check of $1,200, I believe, if I am correct. As well, people who were actually filing their taxes with someone who was illegal, they were not able to get the benefit of the stimulus check, which I think is a little bit unfair. And it just kind of talked about the pillar of fairness and how that is a little bit unfair, but as well as being fair, he did give everybody that was able to receive a check. I know my grandma, she received a check as well, and she has not worked in a very long time. So, I mean, that is fair as well. As an effective, I talked about how the stimulus check is effective and helpful for people who are a little bit on the lower economic system, because they got a little bit more money to spend, but also that money was probably spent on groceries or bills. And the point of a stimulus check is to stimulate the economy. So during these times, restaurants were not able to receive part of that boost, which is not effective. But for people who have a little bit more money in their bank accounts, maybe they splurge a little bit at different places. So that definitely was effective to boost the economy. Some of the administrative branches I talked about in my paper are about the Centers of Disease and Prevention, which is the CDC, Employment Development Department, which is the EDD, and Department of Healthcare Services. Basically, what these programs did, well, not programs, but these branches, they established programs to help people during times of need, especially people who would not be able to get part of the benefits that these programs allow people. The requirements were severely reduced, so a lot of people were able to get the benefits. For an example, the CDC, what they take into consideration are people from different socioeconomic systems, and they took into account how contamination of the virus would be for people who are a little bit on the lower economic systems. Especially, they try to gain data and information and research as to how people who are in certain ethnic groups or socioeconomic systems are more likely to get the virus versus people who are a little bit on the higher economic systems are not as likely to get the virus. Not that they won't get it, but it won't spread as at a higher rate as it will be for people in lower economic systems. As part of effectiveness for the CDC, the data and research that they are doing now is going to be super effective and helpful in the future in times when something like this happens again, or just to look back and maybe get more insight as to what happened right now with the coronavirus. As for the EDD, as mentioned previously, certain requirements were lowered in order for people to get more benefits. So the EDD also implemented a $600 weekly bonus, which helped many people. I know for a fact for me, it helped me because I am a server. Well, I was a server, so I counted on my tips. So the bonus definitely helped me with paying my bills, paying my rent. So I know for a fact that this extra bonus and different programs definitely helped many people and was very effective, as well as fairness. The EDD also let people who are self-employed or business owners to get part of unemployment, which is something that in regular times would not be seen, because people who are usually self-employed or business owners, they are not allowed to get, not that they're not allowed, but the requirements are not for these people to get unemployment. As for healthcare, basically I touch about social equity, which is right now during this time, there is a requirement. I believe the requirements are actually lowered as to people have 60 days to get health insurance if they do not have it, which is extremely helpful since during this pandemic we are dealing with a virus who affects people's health. And I can only imagine people that don't have health insurance, how extremely stressful and scary it is that they might not be able to get the correct health care because they don't have health insurance. But as I mentioned, there are programs now made because of COVID-19 that make it fair and make it attainable for everybody to get health insurance. As well, I believe this program is very effective because everybody from all socioeconomic systems are able to get healthcare no matter what. So I believe this is a big part of health equity, and it helps everybody get part of those benefits that are needed. I know this is a little bit over than 5 minutes, but there's just so much information that needs to be stated. So I will not say any more. I had a great time in this class, and that's it.